Hello, I'm Becky, and this is the first night of the first lesson of Angels and Guides. Okay, to begin with, we all have guardian angels and guides, and our guardian angels come with us at the time of birth, and they stay with us until we leave this physical realm. They never leave us. Guardian angels are always with us, okay? Our guardian angels are assigned to us. However, our guides choose us, okay? Guides are family members, loved ones, friends of friends, or people that we have known from this lifetime or past lives. So if you ever hear their names and you don't recognize your guides' names, check family trees, or if it's not on the family tree, then know that it would be from a past life. Okay. What the word angel means is messenger of God. And they carry the messages between us and God, kind of like a mailman or a mailwoman. Angels love us unconditionally. They see the good and godliness in all of us. Angels never focus on faults. They're non-judgmental, unconditional, and they never judge anyone. They're made of pure love, and God creates the angels. They are with us and know our life plan, so when they come with us at the time of conception, they're already aware of what our life plan is, and they're here to help us through that life plan, again, until we leave this realm. I don't use the word death because I don't believe in it. It's just a transition from one realm to the next. So you won't hear me use the word death. And if I do, I normally will correct myself. And it's because I don't realize that I've used it. Statistics show that 75 to 85% of people believe in angels, and 35% of those claim that they've had encounters themselves. And I find that fantastic, because we hear all the time of non-believers and whatever. So for 75 to 85% to believe, I think is a pretty good percentage. Those of us who connect with our angels on a daily basis will experience more happiness, we're more confident, and we have more peace within our life. And it makes us less afraid of what is referred to as death or that transition, and it makes us transition into a future of our lives and our life plan on a much easier level. Many religions speak of angels, but angels do not belong to any religion, contrary to popular belief. Angels are non-denominational. Traditional ideas or beliefs of angels come from a monotheistic doctrine, which is the belief in one God, religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Angels cannot and will not interfere with our free will. And that's something that's very important for you to remember, because a lot of people think, okay, if I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing, my angels are going to come to me and they're going to remind me, hey, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. But they will not interfere with our free will. We have free will to do whatever we want. If we want their interference in something, we need to call on them and give them permission to interact for us in that particular situation. Does that make sense? You will have to ask your angels for their help, and angels can help many people simultaneously. People also have a belief, well, I can't call on all those angels because I might take them from someone else. That is not true either. There are plenty of angels to go around and plenty of angels to help people a lot, all the time, and they multitask very well. So you don't have to worry about pulling them away from someone else if you need them. Just invoke angels anytime.
And we have our own angels, don't we?
You have your own guardian angels, okay? Everyone is assigned at least 2 guardian angels, okay? Sometimes we have more, but we all have at least 2 guardian angels. The rest of the angels that we'll go over what all the different angels are in the breakdown, I believe, is in lesson 2. Those are in such a numerous number and so many of them out there, we can just invoke as many angels as we want. And so you don't have to worry about if Sibylla is calling on angels at the same time you are. You don't have to worry about taking Sibylla's angels because there's enough to go around, and the same angels could be helping her at the same time they're helping you because they can multitask with no problem. They're here to handle all of our problems, and they have unlimited energies. So we might run out of energy, but our angels never run out of energy. And that's why they can multitask so well. So you don't have to worry about that. There are many ways to ask your angels for help. You can write it. You can write it in a letter to your angels. You can just write it down on a piece of paper. You can do it however you want, but you can call on your angels by writing it. You can say it and ask them to come and help you. You can think it in your mind, and then you get that thought that's not your thought. You can visualize it, see it where you're calling them to help you. But after you get their help or you call on them for help, then speak the affirmation and thank them. We always should thank them for their help, for taking care of our problems and helping us. There is nothing to memorize in any type of affirmations. Like I've told you that I say, Father God, please surround me in the white light of your divine love and protection, and protect me from any and all physical, emotional, or spiritual attacks or interferences. That's what I say. And I've told you before, you're all more than welcome to use that. Or you can say your own. It makes no difference. Affirmations do not have to be memorized. You can say a different one every time. It's just kind of like what rolls out of your mouth as your angels put it through your mind and it comes out your mouth as a vessel. That works. It doesn't have to be any particular words of any kind. The breakdown of angels are the guardian angels. Okay, those are the angels that I'm talking about that come with us at the time of birth, and they stay with us to our physical passing, or as on earth they call it death, and our transition to the next realm. And as I was saying, guardian angels are assigned to you, at least 2. Some people have more. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're worse than the next person and you need more. It's just kind of how it is. Maybe God had an extra guardian angel that day when you were coming, and so he decided to give it to you.
I'll take it.
It makes no difference what we do. Our angels will never leave us, and you need to remember that. Our angels are with us. Our guardian angels are with us constantly. They are our protectors and guides to keep us safe, healthy, and happy, and to fulfill why we are here, to fulfill our life plan. We need to ask for their help to complete our plan, and more importantly, and this is very, very important, we need to accept their help and listen to the help that they give us. Again, your free will can overact with that. If you get that thought that you're not supposed to do something, that's your angels talking to you, but you have free will to override that. But in order to live in peace and harmony, we need to try to remember to accept their help. On the 2 guardian angels that we have, usually one is more bold and speaks louder than the other one to ensure that we will hear the work in our life plan. The other one's a little quieter and is there to comfort and soothe us. The problem is that not everyone listens or pays attention to their angels, and this is why if they would listen to their angels, it's why it would be a much more peaceful world. When we don't listen, there's so many that don't listen, then we don't have that peace. If you are struggling with things, then ask them for more angels from God, or by asking the angels directly to come. Visualize yourself surrounded by the angels, and you can ask them anything you want, but if you're going to envision that with them all around you, then you know that they're there to protect you and to help you through whatever it is that you're struggling for. We can also ask the angels for our friends or family. If we know they're struggling with something, we don't have to wait for them to ask. We can ask and send those angels there to help them as well. So we have the right to call on angels anytime. Anyone does. When anyone has a near-death experience, God sends extra angels to help with the adjustments to life after that experience of seeing or being on the other side. It's an adjustment when we pass through that realm and that transition. It's a huge adjustment, and I call it orientation. So just because we've transferred through the veil and went to the next realm doesn't necessarily mean we know what we're doing or why we're there or how we got there. So you go through a period of a time of adjustment. Your soul still goes through a period of time of adjustment over there. And like I said, I call that orientation. After you get through that adjustment, that's when you can come back and be a guide. When God thinks of love, new angels are created. That's how he creates angels, is by the love that he sends out. And there is an abundance of angels, enough for everyone. Archangels are over the guardian angels as the managers. Archangels are one type of 9 sects of angels. The groups are archangels, principalities, powers, virtues, dominions, thrones, cherubs, and seraphims. Principalities are angels that are like a prince and have territories that they take care of. The seraphim are heavenly beings in power. if you were to compare guardian angels to archangels, the difference would be that archangels are very large, powerful, and loud. However, archangels are very loving, and they do not have egos. Guides can have egos. That's something that you want to remember. They are non-physical and really do not have genders, but their features will give them an appearance of energies as male or female. So archangels are over top of all the other angels, or the boss, so to speak. And all of these other angels fall underneath those, and we will go over that also so you'll know where they fall in. And the groups are called spheres or choirs of angels. There's different versions of the Bible's name Archangel Michael and Gabriel, and some versions include Archangel Raphael and Uriel. The Jewish religion expands the list of archangels to 15. So there are 15 different archangels. If you notice, almost all of the archangels' names end in El, and El is Hebrew for God, or for God or from God. There are two archangels that were not created in heaven. Those are Sandalphon and Metatron, and they're referred to as the twins. They ascended into archangel status because of the exemplary life that they lived here on earth, and God rewarded them with archangel status. Archangel Metatron was originally the prophet Enoch, and Archangel Sandalphon was originally the prophet Elijah. Okay? They were not twins in the physical plane, but they're referred to as twins because they're the only two archangels that ascended into archangel status, and they're the only two archangels whose names do not end in El. Angels have a large swan-like wing, but they don't use them to fly. The artists that originally drew angels drew them with wings and halos, and so now that's the envision that we've been giving throughout life, and that's how people see them, and they felt that it made them seem to be more superior, and since we resonate with that as humans, we just feel that they do have wings and halos. Angels are all sizes and shape, just like people who surround us on a daily basis, and the archangels are the largest of all angels. The cherubs look like small babies, and winged guardian angels are about 3 to 4 foot tall. So your guardian angels are not that big, okay? They're smaller in stature. Archangels are the largest angels. Guardian angels are a little bit smaller, 3 to 4 foot, and cherubs are the babies, which I think we're all probably pretty familiar with. Angels operate on a higher vibration and wavelength than humans, but they live and coexist with us on energy levels that we understand, feel, hear, and see. So with our vibrations being up, we can hear them, we can feel them, and we can see them. That's your clairvoyant, your clairaudient, and your clairsentient, which we will get into in a later lesson. Whether you sense your angel's presence with you or not, you can always connect with them to receive their help, because once again, they never leave you. They're always with you. And it's really important to remember that. The spheres or choir order of angels are as such. The first sphere or choir is the seraphims, the cherubs, and the thrones. The seraphims are caretakers of God's throne, and always shouting praises like holy, holy, holy. It is the Lord is host. Seraphim means burning ones. Two of the seraphims are Serapriel and Metatron. Metatron is one of the archangels who ascended to his title after his physical death or transition here. The cherubs guard the way to the tree of life in the Garden of Eden and the throne of God. Cherubs resonate with as being winged babies or toddlers. So that's your smallest angel. Okay. The thrones are the elders or the class of celestial beings. They are living symbols of God's justice and authority, and they are closely connected with the cherubs. Thrones are among those orders at Christ's service, and they are the carriers of the throne of God, hence the name thrones. Okay. Your second sphere or choirs are your dominions, your virtues, and your powers of authorities. Dominions mean lordship, and they are presented as the hierarchy of celestial beings. Dominions regulate the duties of lower angels, and it is extremely rare that dominions will appear to humans, but dominions also are the guard angels of nations. So they're over the countries, so to speak. The virtue's primary duty is to supervise the heavenly bodies in order to ensure all things that remain in order. The term virtue is attributed to might. The name holy virtue is a powerful, unshakable virility, willing forth into all the godlike energies, not being weak or feeble for any reception of the divine illuminations granted to its mounting upwards in power with God. They are strong enough to never fall away from their divine life through weakness, but ascending unwaveringly to the super essential virtue, which is the source of virtue and flowing forth to those below it, abundantly filling them with virtue. We talk about our virtue all the time. This is what they kind of have control of and what they take care of is the virtue that we have in us, our might or our strength to move forward and to do things. The powers of authorities, they collaborate in power and authority with principalities. The powers are our warrior angels. So they're the ones that are there to kind of fight for us or to be strong and to keep us moving. And they're completely loyal to God. Some believe no power has ever fallen from grace. However, the belief is that Satan was a power, and we all know he fell from grace. Power's duties are to oversee the distribution of power among mankind. The third and last sphere of the angels are the principalities, the archangels, angels or messengers, and the principalities are the rulers and appear to collaborate in power and authority with the angels called powers, which we just went over the powers. And once again, Satan was considered a power. Principalities are showing wearing crowns and carrying scepters. So a lot of people think that Archangel Michael falls into that because we say that he's carrying a sword or a scepter, but he is not a principality. Their duty is to carry out the orders of the dominions and to give blessings to the material world. They are assigned the task to oversee groups of people, sort of like we're here tonight. They're kind of assigned over top of us. They are educators and guardians of Earth's realm, and they inspire all living things. The archangel means chief angel, which, like I said, they're not the most important, but they're the highest angel of all. And they're the number one rank or the power of the messenger. The archangel is the spirit of God that stands before the throne. The archangels are said to be guardian angels of nations and countries and need to be concerned with issues or events including politics, military, and trade. So they kind of oversee our men and women as they're serving. They oversee our government. They're kind of just over everything that is necessary for us to survive here on earth. Archangels are in sense above all angels of any choir, Michael being the highest of all after Satan fell from grace. So Archangel Michael has all of those powers. He's kind of the angel, so to speak, and that's why you hear people call on Archangel Michael a lot for a lot of different things. He handles everything. He's kind of the gatekeeper. So like when we pass over, or souls or spirits pass over, and they go into the heavenly realm, or whatever you want to call it, to me it's still the heavenly realm, he guards the gate. He kind of helps the men. So he's over top of that. He's in charge of all the other angels. So he's kind of like in your family, if your father was the head of the house, it's like kind of like Archangel Michael's the head of the house. Angels or messengers are the lowest order of angels and are the most recognized. These are the ones that when we start calling on angels to help us or invoke angels, if we need more angels to help with different things, it's the angels or messengers that usually will come in to help us. They're concerned with all the affairs of living things, and the angels are sent as messengers to us from God. Also, I wanted to tell you about the Kabbalah, because the cherubs kind of oversee the Kabbalah. And the Kabbalah is referring to the tree of life. Okay, so it's an ancient wisdom that reveals how life in the universe works. It teaches us about the branches of our lives. It teaches us about health and relationships. Business comes from the same trunk and the same root. It is how the universe works to the core level, hence the tree of life. And we all have talked about the tree of life before. So that is the conclusion of lesson 1, and I will let you ask ask any questions now. If I can answer them for you, I will be more than happy to do that. Some of the lessons are quite long. The first lesson's not too bad. Lesson 2 is not real long, and lesson 3, I think, is where we start getting into longer type lessons. So just be aware that, and lessons, I believe, 3 through 8, you will have your lesson plan and I will have mine. So there's one for the student and one for me. And you will be kind of filling in the blanks on some things, because I think it's important for you to write things in, because it'll stick in your mind more. So just be aware that that'll be going on too as we do the lessons. So does anyone have any questions? John?
What are the best ways to communicate with our angels, our guardian angels and archangels and so forth?
Whatever you're most comfortable with. That's why we have the different ways. We can write it, we can say it, we can visualize it, we can affirm it. Whatever works for you. Some people can hear it better, so they want to listen for them. So they want to write it and then wait to hear their angel's answer. Some people can envision it better. They can see it in their mind's eye much better than speaking it. So they'll envision what it is they want to say to their angel, and then they wait for the answer. So it's however you connect to your angels best. There are many ways to do that. One of the things that I try to tell everybody, if you're wanting to learn to listen for your angels, to know their answer, because they will always answer us. We just have to learn to get in tune with them to know that it's them answering us. You want to get very, very quiet, like we do meditation. So take 5-10 minutes, very quiet, no noise around you, deep breathe, just relax, and then ask your angel a yes or no question and wait for the answer. Okay, you might get that thought that's not your thought. Suddenly you heard in your mind, yes, and you're like, whoa, where'd that come from? That's your angel. That's the thought that's not your thought. Okay, suddenly a song might come on the radio, and you're like, oh, that's what I was talking about. Well, there's your answer. You could be asking that question, or you could have a question for your angels, and you're in the grocery store, and you hear these people talking, and you think, well, I know who that is, and you turn around and you don't know them from Adam, but their conversation fit right into the question that you ask. So there's many different ways they come to us, many different ways they answer us. It's just learning to get in tune with that. Does that make sense?
How can we tell we're in communication with the angels? I mean, how can they let us know? I was told once that if you ask a question or you're talking to them or whatever, and you get goosebumps or whatever, that's an indication. But are there?
That's an affirmation. Yes.
Are there other ways?
Yes, and we'll go over a lot of those throughout in the other lessons. There are many different ways that you can feel it. Some people get goosebumps. Some people feel a cold blast come across them. Some people, I've heard people just actually break out and giggle, just like, oh, wow. And, and there's like, oh, there it is. So there's many different ways that we can get that affirmation from them. And again, it's us learning to be in tune with our angels. We teach our angels and guides the same as they teach us. They are so strong, and their vibrations and energy levels are so high that it can overwhelm us. A slight touch from them is like being punched. If someone else come up and laid their hand on your face, it would be gentle. But if they come up and did this, you'd feel like somebody just smacked your face. And that's because their vibrations and energies are so high. So we have to let them know, you got to tone it down a little bit. So if they start overwhelming us and you start getting all of this information and all of these things start coming to you and tons of thoughts that's not your thoughts, you got to back them off. Whoa, 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 hang on here, guys. I'm not getting that. Give it to me again. Because they don't realize you're not. When I first started doing this and started doing readings, they actually showed me a TV screen on people's foreheads. And it was like a scrolling marquee for me to read because I couldn't keep up with them. I only hear them in my left ear. But I couldn't keep up with their voices because it was so quick and so fast, and they were giving me so much information, it was like it was lost. So they started showing me the screen because I'm like, I don't get you. I can't hear you. You're talking too fast. Slow down. So we train them the same as they train us. So it's up to us to let them know if we're not getting their communication. And again, you can say it out loud, or you can think it, or you can write it, or you can envision it. Mm-hmm.
Last month when my ex-husband it was very obvious that he wasn't going to be around. I had asked for guidance and strength, not only for me, but for my daughter.
Right.
And although it was difficult, I was able to be there with my daughter and tell him that it was okay, that things in the past had been forgiven, and that we all loved him, so that he didn't have to go with any kind of burdens on his shoulders. And he had a calendar in his kitchen. And I pointed to the calendar and I told him, I said, Thursday's our daughter's 27th birthday. And he couldn't talk because he had throat cancer and he was terminal. And he kind of looked at me and I pointed at the calendar and I said, our baby girl, her birthday's Thursday. And he gave me a thumbs up. And he subsequently, even though I went into the church and prayed that he wouldn't go on her birthday, he did. But it was like they were telling me she was due on Christmas Day and she was born on the 19th. He passed on her birthday and there's a reason for it. And we don't know what that reason is. But there were random acts of kindness that so many people have showed us that made it easier. And I believe that my angels, they came through these people to make it easier for us.
And before you had the lesson, would you have known how to have talked to your angels or brought them in, or to have known that that's how they came through, was through other people? Did you learn that throughout the lesson, or did you just know to do that?
I've always had, the way I have always felt is that, you know, I don't go to church. I'm not saying I never have, but my way of believing is that we are tested every day of our lives. And I've always had little voices and everything, you know, that tell me, you know, kind of guide me along. And I've always felt that things happen for a reason.
Absolutely.
And we may not understand that reason, but, you know, and I believe that God puts people in our lives at certain points when we really need them to be. And I believe that some of the people that I dealt with during this time were truly angels.
And that'll be something that we'll discuss in one of the lessons as well. Does anyone else have anything?
Becky, I have a question.
Yes. Rita?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, but when you ask the question, would you please give your name as well, since we're putting it on the CD? So can you start with that again?
It's Rita Simons.
Go
The
ahead.
question is, are angels omnipresent?
I'm sorry, are angels what?
Omnipresent?
Omnipresent.
On the presence?
No, O-M-N-I.
Oh, omnipresence. I'm sorry. I was having a hard time hearing you. Our angels are absolutely everywhere in every presence of everything. So yes. Yes, John?
How can we find out, what ways can we find out who our angels are and our guides, what their names are and stuff? And do they appreciate it when we talk to them verbally rather than mentally or writing things down?
They don't care how you talk to them, just as long as you talk to them. They really don't care how they get it. They just want you to talk to them. You can ask them their names. That's one of the things that you can do when you first start learning to communicate with them. You can ask them what their names are and then listen for that. I have been blessed with being able to see people's angels and guides and get their names. They give me their names to give to people. People get confused with their angels because they'll say, oh, I don't recognize that name. Well, you won't recognize your angel's name unless you've learned to get in tune with them yourself and ask them their name, because most people don't see them to get the names to give them to you. It's very rare that people usually know who their angels are or what their names are, so to speak. It's getting in tune with them. Do that. Do your quiet time, your meditation time, and ask them, what's your name? And angels do not have a sex, but they'll present as male or female. And we're going to go over that also in lesson 2. So we'll talk about that. But you can just ask them. If you don't hear them or you don't feel that they answered you, ask again, because they will always answer you. Once again, it's you learning to hear them when they're talking to you.
Have we shared a life with some of our guides or angels?
Most definitely we could have had past lives with some of our guides. And that's why we could have known them from a past life.
Do they keep the same name that they had while in the physical form here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, their name stays the same from physical form to spiritual form. The name doesn't change. Anyone else? Ronnie, do you have any questions?
Yes, Becky, what is the difference between our guides and our angels, or are they one and the same?
No, they are not. Our guardian angels are assigned to us, and they come with us at the time of conception, and they stay with us until we leave the physical plane. They are assigned to us by God. God creates the angels out of love. He names them, whether they're going to be a principality, a guardian, an archangel, or whatever. There'll be no other archangels other than the 15. But he puts them in whatever sphere or class that he wants them to fit in. Principalities, thrones, virtues, cherubs, wherever he wants them to fit in. But he assigns the guardian angels to us. When we're making out our life plan before we come to the physical realm, our guardian angels are assigned to us at that time, and then we come through for the conception, and our guardian angels come with us, and they stay with us until we leave the physical plane. So guardian angels, the things to remember are 2 important things. Guardian angels are assigned to us from God in the heavenly realm. Our guides are people that have walked this earth in a physical form at one time or another. They know us from either being family members, being relatives down the line. It could be friends that we've known. It could be a friend of your friend. Somewhere along the line, they have known us either in this physical life or in a past physical life. Does that explain? Yes. Wait, 1 second, Rita. Does that explain it, Ronnie?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. That's great.
You're quite welcome. Okay, Rita.
So going on her guides discussion, I was told before who my guides were. How do you know when your guides leave you and other ones are replaced?
Oh, that's a good question, because angels never leave, our guardian angels never leave us, but guides can come and go. And that's something that we'll also talk about in depth later, but it's learning, again, to be in tune with them. Ask them if they're still there, okay? Say that you do massage, right?
Aromatouch, yes.
Okay. Say that one of your guides had been in the medical field somewhere along the line in the past. And so he knows that you're kind of in that realm as well. So he wants to help you through that and give you information and things that's going to help you learn more to be able to help others. So now you've picked up a guide that's worked in aromatherapy when he was here, or in some type of medical type setting. So once he feels that you've got a grip on that and you're doing what you need to do, then he may leave and another one may come in that helps you with something different. Like right now, I know I have a teacher guide with me where I'm helping you guys. Okay, how long this teacher guide will stay with me, I don't know. Maybe forever and maybe not. it's up to the guides. We don't get to choose how long that they're with us, when they come with us or when they leave. I think we lost Sibylla.
Well, from when the last time that I found out who they were to the time now, it does feel different. I can't place my finger on it. It just feels different.
Mm-hmm. And we can have from one guide to however many want to follow us. I mean, we can have a few hundred following us. Guides get to choose us. We don't get to choose that. Guides get to choose us. So we can have tons of guides with us at any one time. Or we could have only one guide with us, but we will always have at least one guide with us. We will never ever be totally without a guide. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
Okay, so
I
like,
think we lost Sibylla.
Yeah, that's what I said. I thought we lost her. It's showing she's offline on my thing here.
She's got bad weather there too, so probably weather.
Okay.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
now our guides, like I was told that I have this really tall Native American gentleman that's around me. And I have a tendency to believe that because there's been a couple of different things that have happened. The most recent thing was I was driving away from the farm that I work at, and there was a red-tailed hawk that had just been hit on the road. And normally I would just drive on by because obviously it's dead. And there was just this feeling of stop. It was like, you need to turn around and you need to go back and you need to put him out of the road and put him in the dirt on the ground. And I was on the phone with my daughter and I'm like, wow, someone hit this hawk and it was beautiful, you know. So I went down and I turned around and I came back, had my flashers on, and it had just happened. I mean, it just happened minutes before. So I picked him up and I put him on the side, not in the ditch, but over into a farm field. And I had said something to the effect that you can go back to Earth, as opposed to him being smashed into the road. But it was just like this feeling that just came over me, like, you have to do this. And a few years ago, I was going to work and a raccoon had been hit on the road. And as I drove past him, he just kind of looked at me like, you can't leave me here like this. And he was still alive. So I went and I turned around and I parked and I threw a blanket over him, scooped him up, put him in the back floorboard of my car, and I called a wildlife rescue lady that I know quite well. And she told me to take him to the vet here in Johnstown, and they were expecting me. And I took him in, and he made a recovery, a full recovery. I didn't even think he was going to live. And everybody was, they're like, when I told people what I'd done, they're like, well, did he bite you? Did he tear you up? Did he try to attack you? And I'm like, no, it was just like, it was perfectly calm. He wasn't afraid. And I didn't even give it a second thought.
It's not uncommon to have a Native American spirit guide. In fact, where I can see people's guides and angels, very rarely do I not see a Native American with people. And it's because Native Americans are so spiritual and they ruled the earth, so to speak. It's like they know everything about everything when it comes to the earth and how to survive and do things. So very rarely do I ever see someone that they don't have a Native American with them. So that's not uncommon at all.
But he told her what to do.
Yeah, it was like, you know, I'm on the phone with my daughter and I'm like, hey, I have to call you back. I mean, it was just like this,
That's true.
you know, you have to you just drop everything you're doing and go back. And I did, and I felt like,
You felt
Yeah.
relief.
yeah.
I've been told that everyone has a Native American guide or spirit that watches over them. Is that true?
I have, when I said very rarely do I not see a Native American with people, I have completed a couple readings for people that have not had a Native American with them at that time. But that is the exception to the rule. But again, you're right, Terry. That Native American maybe took a break or something for, and then they come back in, or a new Native American may have came in. It might have been a switch out, so to speak, at that time, and that's why I didn't see them. So to be honest, I can't say 100% sure if that's true. I can only say that 99 and 9/10% of the time, I have seen a Native American guide with the people that I do readings for. Anyone have anything else?
Can I tell you something kind of cool?
Absolutely.
I don't know if this means anything or not, but as John was asking, I was getting my pen ready when he was talking about how you can find out the names of your angels.
Uh-huh.
So I started writing down, and before I knew it, I wrote down the name Isabella. Right here.
Yes, Isabella is one of your guardian angels, Rita. Very good. See how you got that? Because yes, but you're sitting there quietly and without even realizing it, you're listening and tuning in, and that's what it's all about. So, absolutely, Isabella is one of your guardian angels.
That's cool.
Okay, but you have to remember not to call them angels, okay? Because guardian angels are always with you. The other angels can come and go as you call them and need their help. So don't confuse angels with guardian angels, okay? So Isabella is a guardian angel with you. And just to let you know, you do also have a male guardian angel with you, and his name is Andrew. There's another female guardian angel with you, and her name is Maria.
Wow. I'm well loved.
You sure are. You're all well loved. Does anyone else have anything? No? Okay, well, that will conclude tonight's lesson then. And I will meet back here with you next Thursday. I will send out the lesson either late Wednesday or early Thursday. You can glance over it, but I would prefer that you don't try to analyze it until we're actually in group, because it can be rather confusing because you can get your own thoughts about it. So if you can just kind of wait and we'll go over it at lesson time, it might make more sense to you.
Thank you, Becky.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Good night. Love you. Protect, 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 protect.